Okay, class? Shh. Let's settle down and get ready to get into it. How's everybody doing today? Good? That's good. That's really good. So today we're going to learn how to tell time using the digital clock as well as the analog clock. Now, do you remember when we had learned about day and night and things that we do in the day and things that we do in the night? Can anybody tell me some of those things that we do during the day? Karen? Oh, you're right. We do that. We are very energetic during the day, and we eat during the day, and we go to recess during the day, and we have school during the day because we're up and we're alert. And how does it look during the day? The sun is out. Good job, Karen. The sun is out. Anybody else other than Karen? What else? How does it look? How does it feel? It could be hot or it could be cold. Correct, Sasha. Very good. Now, the same thing during the evening. How is it during the evening? How does it look during the evening? Bobby, it's dark. You're right. And we're not so energetic. We're usually sleeping. We're getting ready for bed. We're settling down. We're not doing as much. But there's a lot of things that we do during the day and a lot of things that we do at night. And those things also have a time because time is very important. You have to know what time to get up. You have to know what time to go to work. You have to know what time to go to school. You have to know what time that you're going to eat. If you're going to go pick grandma and grandpa up at the airport, you have to make sure that you get there at a decent time, right? So that's what makes telling time so important because then we can follow a schedule. So today, you are going to learn how to tell time using the digital clock as well as the analog clock. Okay? Now, the first thing is first. The digital clock is represented by either 3 or 4 numbers, okay? And we're going to learn how to tell time in 30-minute increments, okay? It's either going to be 1 o'clock or 1:30. That's it for today. So, to tell the time on a digital clock, it's going to be represented by 3 or 4 numbers. The first number is it's just going to be whatever it is. So if it's 1 o'clock, it's going to be represented by a 1. And if it's o'clock, it's always going to be represented by 2 zeros, okay? 1 is the first number, and then the second numbers are going to be represented by 2 zeros as o'clock. So if it's 2 o'clock, the first number in our clock is going to be a 2, followed by the 2 zeros, which represent o'clock. What if it is 4 o'clock? What is our first number going to be? Joseph? Correct. It's going to be a 4 because the first number is represented by a 4 and the second set of numbers is going to be represented by 2 zeros or o'clock. Now, over here on our analog clock, I like to look at this as our pie clock, okay? Do you like apple pie, cherry pie, pumpkin pie? Okay, that's what your clock is going to be. It's going to be the pumpkin clock or the cherry clock, okay? But it's an analog clock. And it has two hands on it. There's a little hand, which you can be the little hand. And guess what? The little hand is the leader. So you're going to be the beginning of our clock, okay? So if it's 4 o'clock, our little hand is going to be turned to the number 4, okay? Because it's the hour hand. It's the fourth hour of the day. There's 24 hours in a day, okay? But the analog clock, it doesn't have AM or PM, okay? It's just going to be whatever that time is, and if it's dark, it'll be PM, and if it's pretty much, light outside, it might be AM, okay? But anyway, it's going to be the 4th hour of the day on our clock. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And 12 is always going to represent o'clock. So our minute hand, or the long hand, is going to be pointed to the 12, which is going to represent o'clock. So if it's 4 o'clock, the little hand is going to be first. We're going to put it on the 4, and the big hand is going to be on the 12, okay, which is going to represent o'clock. If it is 5 o'clock, how are we going to write that on our digital clock? Mary Jo, how are we going to write 5 o'clock on our digital clock? Correct. It's going to be 5 followed by the 2 zeros, which represent o'clock. And how would we set our analog clock or our cherry clock? How are we going to set that? The little hand is going to go 1 down to 5, and the big hand is going to be on the 12 because 12 represents o'clock. How are we going to set 7 o'clock on our digital clock? The 5 is going to change to 7, and the two numbers that behind it are going to be represented by the 2 zeros, which represent o'clock. And over here on our analog clock, we're going to change the little hand to the 7, and the big hand is going to stay on the 12 to represent o'clock. How would we say it's 9 o'clock? The little hand will be moved to 9, and the big hand will be on the 12 for 9 o'clock. Now, let's change it up a little bit. If it's 7:30, you're going to still keep that first number on your digital clock at 7. However, the two numbers following that are going to be 30. So it's going to be a 3 and a 0 for 7:30. Now on our digital clock, or excuse me, our analog clock, the 30 is going to be on the big hand is going to be on the 6, because 6 is half of 12. That's half of our pie, okay? Half of the clock. So 6 is going, there's actually 60 seconds in a minute, okay? And that's why this is the minute hand, because there's 60 seconds in a minute. Half of our clock is 6, half of 12 is 6, and that's why it's like that. Does everybody understand that? Okay. So if it is 7:30, where are we going to put our little hour hand? Because it's the 7th hour, we're going to move this over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's 30. And what did we say we were going to put with our minute hand? It's going to be on the 6. And why is it going to be on the 6? Because 6 represents 30 minutes into our time for that hour. So it's going to be 7:30. How would we set our clock to be 9:30? The little hand is going to go to what number? 9. And the little minute hand is going to be on the 6, because that's going to represent half the hour, or 30. So it's 9:30. And on our digital side, we're going to go ahead and flip over to 9:30. You guys are too smart. So one thing that we're going to do today is a really fun activity, okay? What I'm going to do is have you guys go into my handy dandy colorful box here. You're going to pull out an activity flashcard, and you are going to determine when we're going to actually do that activity. Is it going to be something that we do in the morning between 8 and 11 o'clock a.m.? Is it something that you might do in the afternoon between 12 and 4 o'clock p.m.? Is it something that we might do in the evening between 5 and 10 o'clock p.m.? So you're going to place your activity card in the appropriate time frame, and then you're going to write the digital time next to that card, and you're going to set the clock, okay? And if you need help, you're going to talk to your group members to find out what it is that you need to do, or how you go about setting that clock, okay? And then you're going to come up to the board, and we're going to place our activity cards. So what I'm going to do is do a couple of them with you so we understand what we're doing, and everybody seems to understand how to set the clock, okay? If you have any questions, then you go ahead and ask me. And then when you get in your groups, if you have any more questions, you want to talk amongst each other to find out what it is that you need to do or what the problem is, okay? And I'm also going to walk around and help you guys as well. So let's look through the box here. Okay, it looks like we have a toothbrush. Okay, can anybody tell me, what are we going to do with the toothbrush? Or actually, I'm sorry, when are we going to use the toothbrush? Okay, Nina, what are we going to do with the toothbrush? We're going to brush our teeth. And when do we brush our teeth? In the morning? That's right. That's one of the first things that we do. We get up in the morning and we brush our teeth. So we're going to put this toothbrush under the morning between 8 and 11 o'clock. And about what time do you think you might brush your teeth? About 8 o'clock? Okay. And if we brush our teeth at 8 o'clock in the morning, how would we set our digital clock to represent 8 o'clock? That's right. The first number is going to be an 8. And the second numbers, is this correct? You're right, it's not correct. Why is it not correct? That's right, because 8 o'clock is represented by 2 zeros. 8 o'clock. Very good. You guys are so smart. I had the best class. I tell you. You guys are just awesome. 8 o'clock. Very good. And if it's 8 o'clock on the digital side, how are we going to set our analog clock to represent that? The little hand is going to be on what number? It's going to be on the 8, okay. And the minute hand, where's the minute hand going to be? It's going to be on the 12 because it's the first of the hour. Very good. You guys are excellent. Very good. Okay, let's pull another card out and see what we get. Okay. Okay, it looks like we have a bathtub and a little kid is taking a bath. So when do we take a bath? Do we take a bath in the morning? No, we don't take a bath in the morning. What about in the afternoon? No, we're not taking a bath in the afternoon. We're at school and we're playing. So we're taking a bath during the evening. That is correct, John. During the evening, we're taking a bath. So we're going to take this little candy card here and we're going to place it under the evening time frame, okay? For bath, evening. And about what time do you take a bath, John? You take a bath at about 7 o'clock? 7 o'clock? Okay. That's a good time to take a bath, right before you go to bed. So on our digital clock, John, how would we set that? The first number is going to be represented by a 7. Excellent. Well, our second set of numbers, is this correct? Yes, it is correct because it's 7 o'clock. And over here on our digital clock, how would we set our digital clock to represent the time that John is going to take the bath? John, what time, how would we set that clock? The little hand is going to be on, is the first number that we're going to move it to, and where is that going to go? Correct, it's going to go to the 7. And the big hand, is the big hand going to be on the 12, or is it going to be on the 6? Excellent, it's going to be on the 12 because it's 7 o'clock, and o'clock is going to be on the 12. Very good. All right, I'm going to do one more with you guys, and I think that after I do this last one, you all should be able to know what it is that you're supposed to be doing and get the idea of this. So, pull up the box here. We're going to go through and take a look and see what we have. All right. Looks like we have nap time. Okay, you guys are familiar with nap time because we have nap time every single day here at school. Okay? And what time do we usually go to nap? What time do we take a nap? We take a nap at about what? 1 o'clock? 1 o'clock? Does that sound right? Or is it 2 o'clock? We take a nap time at 1:30, don't we? 1:30. So this is going to go into what time frame is this going to go in if it's 1:30? The afternoon. Excellent. Excellent. So we're going to go ahead and post our activity flashcard in the afternoon section here. And if we have nap time at 1:30, how are we going to set our digital clock to represent 1:30? The first number is going to be a 1. Excellent. So we're going to go ahead and flip this number down to a 1. And then the second set of numbers, is it o'clock? Is this correct? No, it's not correct. Why is this not correct? Excellent, because 2 zeros represents o'clock, and we want it to be 30. So how is it going to be represented? The first number is going to be a 3. Excellent. Excellent. I knew you guys could do it. I knew that you guys would be able to just get this lesson, just like that. 1:30. Now, how are we going to set our clock? How are we going to set this pie clock? The little hand is going to be on what number? A 1. Excellent. So we're going to move the little hand over to a 1. And what about the minute hand? What number is the minute hand going to be on? It's going to be on a 6. And why is our minute hand going to be on the 6? It's going to be on the 6 because it's half of the time. Okay? Half the clock. Okay? We're halfway through the hour. Excellent. Excellent. You guys are extra smart. I know you won't have a problem with this lesson. So we're going to go ahead and get in our groups and figure out what it is that we need to do. If you have any questions, then just go ahead and ask me. I'm going to come around and pass out. Each of you are going to get an activity flashcard. You're going to determine what time that needs to be done. And then you're going to go ahead and figure out how it's going to be written in the digital way for your digital clock. And then we're going to have to set the analog clocks, okay? Each of your groups have an analog clock for you all to set, okay? If you have any questions, ask your teammates. And after we're all done, we're going to come up to the board and everybody's going to have a chance to place their activity card in the appropriate time slot and tell us what time that they might do that activity, okay? So let's go ahead and get to it. I know you guys can do it.